Welcome to Narc Free Maven. My name's Maven. Thank you for joining me this evening. This is a calm and supportive space for people recovering from narcissistic abuse, emotional manipulation, and confusing relationship dynamics. If your mind has been racing, if you've been replaying conversations or trying to understand behaviors that never made sense, I hope this video helps you feel a little more grounded tonight. And the question I'm going to answer is about, I've titled it, Am I Crazy or Was I Gaslighted? Understanding Narcissistic Gaslighting. Now this is from a question, and the question was, Am I crazy or was I gaslighted? This is one of the most common questions asked after leaving a narcissistic relationship. Because one of the most damaging parts of narcissistic abuse is not always what was done, but the way your reality was slowly made to make you feel unreliable. Many survivors describe a very unsettling experience. You may remember clearly what happened, a conversation, a promise, something that was said, but when you brought it up, the narcissist may have responded with something like, "That never happened. You're imagining things. You're too sensitive. You're remembering it wrong. Why are you always so emotional?" And over time, these responses can create deep confusion. You may begin to question your own memory, your own perceptions, even your own sanity. This pattern of manipulation is known as gaslighting. Gaslighting is a psychological tactic where someone repeatedly denies reality or twists events in order to make the other person doubt themselves. They do it to gain control. When the person begins to question their own memory or judgment, they become easier to influence. In narcissistic relationships, gaslighting can happen in very subtle ways. Small details may be denied. Events may be rewritten or outright lied. The narcissist can accuse you of things that you never did. And when you try to defend yourself, the conversation may shift so that you suddenly are the one being blamed. Over time, this can happen and leave survivors just feeling deeply disoriented. Many survivors only realize later that something was very wrong. And when they look back and they start thinking, I knew what happened. So why did I start doubting myself? The answer is that gaslighting works slowly. It often happens through repeated moments of denial and blame. Eventually, the mind begins to ask, maybe I did misunderstand. But questioning yourself doesn't mean you were wrong. In many cases, it means you were trying to maintain peace in a confusing situation. One of the most powerful parts of healing from narcissistic abuse is rebuilding trust with your own perception, trusting your own judgment. Many survivors begin to notice that once they're away from the relationship, their clarity starts to return slowly. Memories begin to make sense. The confusion begins to lift. That inner voice that once felt uncertain begins to feel stronger. And learning about gaslighting often helps survivors understand that the confusion they experienced was not a personal failure. It was a response to a psychological manipulation tactic. If you've ever been asking yourself, am I crazy? Please know that many survivors of narcissistic abuse ask the same question. And very often the answer is not what you were thinking. You weren't losing your mind. It is that your reality was repeatedly challenged by someone who benefited from your confusion. With time and distance and understanding, your sense of clarity does return. You find yourself again. You start trusting your judgment again. Distance does help. No contact does help. So thank you for listening. Again, I'm Maven from Narc Free Maven. My goal with these videos is to create a calm and steady space for people healing from narcissistic and emotional abuse. A place where your mind can slow down, your nervous system can breathe, and you can begin to find clarity one step at a time. If this video brought you a small sense of comfort or peace tonight, I invite you to subscribe and click the notification bell so you'll be gently notified whenever a new calming ASMR recovery video is uploaded. You don't have to figure everything out at the moment. Just focus on taking care of yourself, one moment at a time. Until next time, be gentle with yourself. Breathe deeply, and remember, clarity changes everything.